Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm finally back making videos after about 7 days of taking off. What ended up happening is, unfortunately, I did end up having to go to the ER. I got very sick one day. I was there for a few hours, got stabilized, got to feeling a little bit better, but then I was still feeling pretty rough over the next few days, so I wasn't able to make videos. But I do hope that all of you have been well over the past week or so and that you had a good 4th of July celebration. All of you, your family, your friends were safe, and you had a pretty good time, good food, and everything like that. But in today's video, I'm going to be going over the payment schedule for all these Social Security payments that are going to be going out this month in July. And then we're also going to be going over a pretty important date coming up exactly in 1 week from today, which should give us a pretty good idea of what the Social Security increase should be for next year. But before we go ahead and dive into the main content of today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Okay, so as I mentioned, in just 1 week, we have a pretty important date coming up, which should give us a little bit better of an idea of how much the increase should be next year for Social Security beneficiaries. So next week, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, we do have the inflation report coming out that is going to be on July 12th, and that's going to give us the inflation data for the month of June. Now, the three most important dates are actually going to be coming up over the next few months. So we're going to be looking at the inflation data for July, which is actually going to be released in August. So these dates actually have a 1 month delay. So in August, we're going to see what the inflation was for July. In September, we're going to see what the inflation was for August, and so on and so forth. So how they figure the cost of living adjustments for Social Security beneficiaries is they look at the CPI data for July, August, and September. So remember, the July data won't actually come out until August, the August data won't come out until September, and the September data won't come out until October. So we're not going to know what the cost of living adjustment is until October. Whenever the September data comes out, that's going to be on October 12th. So October 12th is when we'll know exactly how much we're going to be receiving for an increase for 2024. So those are going to be dates to look out for. Now, we can actually see some predictions of what the inflation data is going to look like whenever this gets released next week on July 12th. It's still going to be important to look at. We're going to have to figure out whether inflation is continuing to go downwards, if it's kind of staying steady, or maybe it's going to start going upwards again. We'll have to wait and see. So right now we do see the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland, they come out with their nowcasting projections. So you can see up on the screen, month over month for June, they do expect the CPIW to go up by 0.42%. And then in July, they expect it to go even lower by 0.28%. And then of course, the CPI for June, they expect that to be 3.22%. And for July, year over year, 3.54%. So that's something that we're definitely going to have to keep our eyes out on. And then of course, the most recent inflation report last month, we actually had a new prediction from the Senior Citizens League, and they came out and said that it could be 2.7% for 2024, which is obviously significantly lower than the 8.7% that we received this year. This, of course, is actually good news, even though we're going to be receiving less of an increase. This is because inflation is finally, not going up at a significant pace. It's not like it's going down. Inflation is definitely not going down because it was 8.7% back in 2022, which is why we received the 8.7% increase. But on top of the 8.7%, according to the Senior Citizens League, it is going to be going up another 2.7% on top of the 8.7%. So inflation is still going upwards. It's just not going upwards at as fast of a pace. So we definitely still need to get inflation to continue to go back down. We'll just have to wait and see whether it's going to continue going back down. It could be even lower than the 2.7% that they are predicting. It could be the same, or it could be higher. Remember, these are just predictions, so we'll just have to wait and see. And we can see right here that even though the CPIW, which is the inflation data that they use for Social Security beneficiaries each and every year to figure out the COLAs, according to the Senior Citizens League, has been at 3.6% year over year, according to the latest readings. There are, of course, other readings as well. So they had like the CPI-U, which of course in the last reading was at 4%. So we have other readings that are much higher than the CPI-W reading. Then of course we have the CPI-E reading, which a lot of people are advocating that we should be changing the way we figure the COLAs over to the CPI-E because it tracks what Social Security beneficiaries spend more on rather than the CPI-W, and the CPI-E is also usually higher. But we can see here just a few items where inflation has really just hit the most. So food at home over the past year has been up by 5.8%. Electricity has been up by 5.9%. Shelter up by 8%. New cars up by 4.7%. And transport services up by 10.2%. But of course, I am curious what your thoughts are on this. Which areas have you seen inflation up still just way too high on? Areas that you perhaps spend on that you would like to see come down even more? Areas that you perhaps see are just still rising at way too fast of a pace? Let me know what you're usually spending on and the things that are going up too high for you that you would like to see start to trickle down just a little bit. But of course, we do have some more payments for those currently on Social Security going out per usual, like every single month in July. So we're gonna be going over the payment schedule for Social Security beneficiaries, whether you're receiving retirement benefits, whether you're receiving SSI benefits, or whether you're receiving SSDI benefits. Now, starting out for SSI beneficiaries, unfortunately this month in July, there are no payments going out for you guys on SSI. Usually you would be receiving your payment on the first of the month, but for July 1st, there was no payment for SSI beneficiaries. That's because you actually received your July 1st payment back in June because July 1st fell on a Saturday. And anytime the first of a month falls on a Saturday, a Sunday, or a holiday, you're going to be receiving that payment a little bit earlier. So that's why you received 2 payments back in June if you're receiving SSI, and you're not going to be receiving another payment all the way until August 1st. And then, of course, in September, you're actually going to be receiving 2 payments once again if you're on SSI. So you're going to be receiving a payment on September 1st, and then a payment also on September 29th, as you can see on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. As far as everyone else goes, back on July 3rd, people would have received a payment if you started receiving Social Security before May of 1997, or if you're receiving both Social Security and SSI, you would have received your payment back on July 3rd. Then coming up next week on July 12th, people are going to be receiving a payment. Those are going to be going out right around $1,800 on average to those with birthdays falling between the 1st and 10th of any given month. Then the following week on July 19th, the 3rd Wednesday of the month, those payments are going to be going to those with birthdays falling between the 11th and 20th of any given month. And then finally, on July 26th, the last payment for Social Security beneficiaries are going to be going out. Once again, those are going to be going to those with birthdays falling between the 21st and 31st of any given month. So you can see those payments up on the screen there. Then, of course, looking ahead to August, once again, SSI beneficiaries are going to be receiving their payment on August 1st. And then we're going to have payments going out on August 3rd, August 9th, August 16th, and August 23rd. So those are all the payments going out for the month of July. Certainly glad to be back with you guys today. Definitely hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.